everyone, so today I wanted to do a kind of old school Harry Potter review of set 4736 Freeing Dobby. This set originally came out in 2010 and has 73 pieces and 3 minifigures, one of which is the exclusive redesign of Dobby. At the time, Lucius Malfoy was also an exclusive, but then he featured in 2 sets after this. At the time of release, this set was around $10 to $15 in most countries and is a remake of the 2002 set Dobby's Release from the Chamber of Secrets. So let's take a look at the minifigures, starting off with our favourite house elf. So first up we have Dobby, which is a very close remake of the original, using a very similar head. However, this time his eyes aren't sunken in like they were on the original, and his eyes are painted on. He also has a really nicely detailed torso. I love the dirt marks and all the wrinkles and creases and all the raggedness at the top at his neck and his body. I think it's really good, especially considering this came out in 2010. He's also got some short tan legs. His back printing's also pretty nice and carries around the same design. Now, I do own 2 versions of this set, and my older Dobby has lost a lot of his eyes. He's not in quite as good shape as the other Dobby is, which is why I wanted to show you, as some of these old rubber heads, the painting used to come off so easily. I know it used to happen quite a lot in the old Star Wars sets too. I think this is a slightly better rubber, however, it's still prone to falling off. And here is our 2010 Dobby side by side with the 2018 CMF one. As you can see, our 2018 one had a big upgrade. He's got a completely new face, which is a different rubber and has a printed mouth as well. He's also got dual molded legs, which makes this figure look so much better. His torso is pretty similar. There's a bit more extra detailing and a bit more flesh at the top and around his arm, but otherwise the detailing on the torso is pretty similar, especially considering these came 8 years apart. Our new Dobby also has some pretty good back printing, although nowhere near as much detail as the old one had, funny enough. Next up is our protagonist, Harry Potter. He is so common, this figure. He has plain black legs and a really cool Gryffindor torso, although I don't like the Gryffindor shield on the right. I just think it's not needed, it's not accurate, no one's ever seen this, so why is it here? In saying that though, it does have some really cool metallic gold printing that I really like. His hair is the same that we've seen on most of the Harrys since 2001 and doesn't really change there, and he's got a pretty generic Harry Potter face. He also comes with the reddish brown bar to represent his wand. He's got some neat back printing and a rather stern alternate face. So here's Harry next to his 2018 counterpart. Now, one thing you'll notice is that they're completely different sizes, and up until 2018, all the Harry Potters used the regular size minifigure legs. Since this set is based off the Chamber of Secrets as well, that means Harry should have his short legs and young face. You can also see that the 2018 version has a newer headpiece with a cutout so you can see his scar a lot better. He looks a lot younger and is a lot more size accurate compared to Lucius Malfoy. When you put the figures side by side as well, you can see that the old Gryffindor torso here has a very deep V-neck. I don't know why this is the case, and I didn't really notice it until I looked at the 2 figures side by side, but it is very long. I don't know if that's so that they had more space to print on the tie and maybe do that like flesh coloring at the top. They've got pretty similar back printing, although the new figures do not have that really nice metallic gold that the 2010 ones did. And our last minifigure for this set is Lucius Malfoy. He's one of my favourite figures from this era of sets. I just think he looks really good and holds up today. He's got plain black legs, one of those old black starchy cape, and a black bar to represent his wand. He's got a really nice torso print and face print, and he has a long blonde hairpiece, which I think looks spectacular and really suits him. Although this figure is quite basic in the amount of detail, I think they did an excellent job of recreating the character in Lego form. And I hope to see a Lucius Malfoy in the future that can be even better than this. He's got no back printing underneath his cape, and his alternate face is a really cool Death Eater mask that is similar to the one seen in the Order of the Phoenix. So taking a look at the building, it's pretty simple and pretty small, well, especially considering it was a $10 price point. It's just like some old Hogwarts archway, but it has some pretty common pieces that you typically see in Hogwarts, so it can be pretty good for mocks, but on its own, it's pretty simple and pretty boring. On the left, you have a spider attached to the wall, which is just hanging on by a stud. It's one of the old style spiders as well, so it doesn't have the legs that crawl over, they're just very flat. I doubt Ron's going to be very happy to see that. And underneath you have a reddish brown broomstick. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be the Nimbus 2000 or just Filch's broom or something along the lines of that, although it kind of feels a bit out of place, but I guess it's a nice inclusion if you're only going to get one set, because then Harry has his broom. On the front, you have 2 cones with some of the newer flame pieces sticking out at the top. I'm pretty sure these pieces were like quite new at the time of release, so it was nice to see them. You've got some classic Hogwarts tan colors as well, with 2 pillars and some like archways at the top here, and the classic Hogwarts sand green at the top. The right hand side is a lot more plain and boring, with the only decoration being a gold stud at the top. Now this set does have a play feature, so let's have a look. Using Lucius Malfoy as an example, we're gonna push him out of the way using Dobby's spell, or more realistically this lever at the back. And this sends him flying. Now Dobby's accessory in this set is Tom Riddle's diary. So here it is side by side with the newer one that we saw in 2018, which is the newer style book. And since it is the newer style book, it also means we can have some more printing. So we've got the gold decorations in the corner, and we've got the stab mark from the basilisk fang on the front of the book. On the inside, both have Dobby's sock, although the one on the new one also has some additional detailing around the edge of the piece to make it look more old. The other good thing about these books though is that characters can actually hold them now, whereas Dobby could barely hold the old book. So that is the complete set. Now, my thoughts on this at the time would be pretty high. For $10, it was a pretty good steal, especially considering at the time of release, you could only get Dobby and Lucius Malfoy in this set, and it was a really cheap way to get Harry, which also meant it's a really cheap way to get the Hogwarts uniform. That way you could create some more students, like fill it up and stuff like that. Also, the pieces in this set were pretty basic and pretty generic, so it'd be really good for Hogwarts mocks. These days, however, I don't think it quite has the same value. If you're a Harry Potter completionist and are looking to collect all the sets, or as many as possible, and you find this at a cheap price, like, yeah, I'd get it. Otherwise, I don't think it's really worth it these days. At the time of release though, it was a pretty neat set for $10. I mean, you get a little play feature, you got some cool minifigures. I wouldn't exactly say it's very display worthy, but you could build it down and make your own creations with it easily. That being said, I am glad I have it in my collection. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Until then, I'll see you later.